Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Kate up here and just making another video for another design topics. And as you can see in this video title, I'm gonna talk about getting designers out of poverty. And the reason why I'm making this is because you may know that I'm from Hong Kong, but what you may not know that designer from Hong Kong is generally treated very poorly. And I'm a member of a group called I don't know if you read Chinese, but basically it says designer in Hong Kong are worse than eating shit. So let's gather together by fireplace and cry. And that is what it says in the title. And they have 16,000 members in the group. So every single day I'll see a lot of horrible story, people posting how they are treated by their boss, and it's very bad. So definitely doesn't paint a very beautiful picture of being a designer in Hong Kong. And I think about that, it's probably not just a regional thing, right? Like I have a lot of friends in Canada, they are having the same kind of problem as well, right? It's very hard to find a job, and like they're not valued by the company, right? So that is definitely a very sad thing. And when I think deeper, right, you may not just be designers, right? There are a lot of other occupations there treated like shit as well, right? So it may not just be a designer issues. So I think that deep down the issue is, rather if you're treated like shit or not, it's really depending on what kind of value do you bring to the business, or what kind of value are you as a person, right? So if your value is higher, nobody will want to treat you like shit. But if your value is not that high, then that is where all the problem comes from, right? But the sad thing about this too is, as a designers, right, we're not really taught in school to think about a value as a designers. Like we're not taught about, the marketing side of things in a business, or the kind of operation side of things in a business, right? So we're not thinking about, how the employer will see us as designers, right? We're taught to, design things pretty, like the grid system, the page layout and things like that, but nothing about the business, right? So in school, you may be thinking about, being a designer is very noble. I design things and people looking at that, people are happy, in exhibitions, like people are, picking arts and all that thing. And I get to design that piece of art. That's amazing. But, in reality, generally employer are not seeing things like that, right? So that is extremely important in my opinion. You think about, the value that you bring as a designer to the business, and also like your positioning. Just think about if you're a product, right? How do you package yourself and be more sellable, right? And be like higher value products, right? So this kind of thing is extremely important. So there are two main concepts or ideas that you want to keep in mind as a designers, right? And especially if you're at school right now, how do you want to position yourself? And these things are, the first one is, I think like what kind of problem are you going to be solving as a designers, right? I think the problem that you're solving is definitely has a direct relation to the value that you bring to the business. And if you're solving a smaller problem, then your value may not be that high, right? But if you're solving big problem, then definitely your value is going to be higher. So smaller problem can be, let's say, if you are, designing a brochure or a menu or a poster for a small mom and pop shop, right? Then the value you bring to the business is smaller. They may not need to survive the business with your poster, right? But if you're solving a big problem, then that's a different story. So let's say if you are working for a startup, let's say Uber, right? Uber has an idea to revolutionize the entire taxi business, right? They think that, waiting for taxis is too long, so we're going to be an app that everybody can call cars. So if you have an idea to revolutionize the entire industry, then that is a very big problem that you're solving, right? So if I'm the designer that originally designed Uber, the app, and eventually a lot of people are using that app to call taxi and all that. So the value, the money that, my designer bring is a lot higher than that, brochure or poster that I designed for that mom and pop shop, right? So the stuff that you design for, if it is a small problem that you're solving or a big problem that you're solving, is extremely important. So think about what kind of problem you would like to solve. Both are maybe designing things that people like. Both are designing things that look pretty, right? Designing things that is functional, but the size of the problem that you're solving is extremely important as well. So you want to think about that, keep that in mind, right? What do you want to be doing in the future when you're out in the business looking for an employer or looking for work? So that is something to keep in mind, right? And the second thing is, like, as a designer, if you are dispensable or not. So that is extremely important as well. So I learned that in my first job as a junior designer. And I remember my mentor or my manager, he was an extremely good designer. He was a Japanese designer, and that was a Japanese magazine, and people sell ads on our magazine. And he was the only one that can do design things that, in a certain way that he does, right? Nobody can design the same ads that he designed like that, right? So he brings a lot of business to the company because his design is loved by a lot of customers, right? And I remember when he was, thinking to leave the company, and the employer basically just literally begging him not to go, right? He was like, just please stay here. We need you. The business needs you. And basically, if he leaves, right, the whole business will collapse because, like, I cannot design the same kind of thing that he was doing, and my level is definitely not good enough, right? And likely that the employer is not going to be finding anybody that designs same Japanese design that good in Vancouver. So, the company, basically he was just extremely important, right? So if you're that important, think about if the employer is going to treat you like shit if you're that important, right? They're going to treat you like king. Like, no matter what it demands, right, they're going to give it to you because you're extremely important to the business. You are indispensable, right? Indispensable. So that is, the thing that you want to, the level of skill that you want to achieve, right? You want to become the person that is indispensable. In my case, right, let's say if I design an app for a client, and only me know how to design the app a certain way, and nobody can kind of copy the way that I do or the aesthetic that I bring to that business, right? And eventually my work help the business to generate like from, let's say, $10,000 to $1 million, right? So that is like 100x of what the business originally worth, right? So think about what is my value right now to the business, right? And without me, they would not be able to have that kind of a big leap, right? So my value is definitely extremely high. So think about how much, money that the company would like to pay me to keep me in the business, right? So just think about, what kind of value are you bringing to the business, and if you are dispensable as well. Even though if you're solving a big problem, but you're dispensable, then you're still, it's in plain term, right? I think it's really just a supply and demand thing, right? If your skill level is very in demand, then, you can demand a lot higher. But if there's a lot of supply, so the same level of skills, a lot of people can do the thing that you're doing, right? So you're definitely, not that valuable. So something to keep in mind. So improve your design skill, right? Like focus on a problem that really solving a big issue, then your designer solving a big issue and then improving your design skill. I think that is where that you can get yourself out of that kind of poverty zone as being a designer, right? So that is what about, this kind of topic, like this idea. So if you're in school right now, think about what you want to position yourself in the future, what kind of problem do you want to solve, and improve your design skill. That's it, right? So want to mention something else as well before I end the video. I'm actually thinking about doing a full design course on my Classity app. So right now it's not built yet, but that is just an idea. So what is going to happen is I'm going to teach a course, a design course, but that is a free course. I'm not selling courses. Again, right, I never sell courses. That is a free course, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stream the entire lessons every single month on YouTube. So that is going to be a live streaming lessons that you guys can, just take it and then, attend the class, kind of a live streaming class. I'm going to, again, stream it on YouTube so you guys can attend at the same time. So I may talk about, how to become a UI and UX designer, the transitioning from a general, graphic designer to UI and UX, like what kind of step that you have to take, right? Maybe a 3-lesson course and stuff like that. So I'm going to stream this kind of courses on YouTube, and everybody can take it at the same time. And I may make notes, and I have homework and things like that, right? So that is something that I'm going to launch on Classity, and you have to sign up for it to be able to attend the class and things like that. So that is what I'm thinking, but it's all free again. So if you're interested, then definitely, tell me in the comment section down below, and definitely don't forget to subscribe my channel as well, because, if you don't subscribe, then you're not going to be able to see these kind of things. And also, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And also, I have other social media links down below you may want to follow as well. And that's it for the video. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time. Cheers.